In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We are now going to introduce the first mystery of the Holy Rosary, which is the Annunciation. So we're going to go to the Annunciation. This is the Holy Rosary, is, as we all know, is a Catholic prayer, because we all know the Buddhists have a thing they saw Amrita for, and the Muslims have this kind of beads, telling the beads. Well, in English, don't be so, telling their beads. And the story goes, where did this rosary come from? Well, the story goes that Saint Dominic was sent to southern France, and there were these people called the Cathars. They were a pretty dangerous lot. And the Catholics didn't get very far. They couldn't make any headway with the Cathars. So the story goes that Our Lady, the Madonna, Our Lady, she appeared and she said, Dominic, get some string, make a lot of beads on them, and each of these beads have a little story. And if you you can make 20 stories. Well, at that time it was 15 stories or some stories, and it's a kind of mini Bible. Because if you go there to the Cathars and you begin reading the Bible and Matthew chapter so and so, the guys probably will go to sleep, or maybe they'll stone you and kill you. But if you teach them the Rosary, how to say the Rosary, it's a very simple. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You say that 4 times, there's 20 stories. It's a kind of mini Bible. So it's a very easy way of teaching the Bible, teaching the story, 20 stories. So it's worthwhile making an effort every day to say the Rosary. And the story goes that, of course, many of us will say, well, that's a bit old-fashioned. And we know the story that not too long ago, there was an old fogey in the train in France. And he was telling his beads. This old guy was, nodding his head, and he was going, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed art thou among us women. And there was a young modern guy. He couldn't take this. He said, this rosary stuff is medieval superstition. Forget about it. So he began to tell the old man. He said, look, Mr. So-and-so, you are old-fashioned, you are out of date. You should not be saying the Rosary. You study a bit of science. We are now in the modern age. The scientific age has proved that all this is mumbo-jumbo. Mumbo-jumbo. And it's going to get you nowhere. Wake up, you're going to die soon, and you don't want to waste your life saying Hail Mary, full of grace, Lord is with thee. You're just wasting your time. Okay, and this old guy, he was very patient. He said, all right, okay. But this young guy, like young people, he hadn't said his piece. So he said, would you please give me your card? What is your name? Okay, and I will write your letter and tell you how to live. You're an old, crotchety, medieval, antediluvian, out-of-touch guy. Don't say the Rosary. So this guy, he handed him his card, and on the card was said, Pasteur. I think it's Jean Pasteur. And we all know at the time, Pasteur, we have pasteurized milk. Pasteur was one of the most famous scientists at that time. So the young guy began to blush and embarrassed, teaching this old man about science, when this old man was the most important scientist of his age. Just by the way, somebody wrote Ave Maria, and you look at it, Ave Maria, Hail Mary. So this guy was saying, Ave Maria, Ave Maria, Ave Maria. Okay, and this young guy was saying, get with it, don't say it. Then he realized, okay, science and religion are compatible. So here we have the Rosary, and the Rosary. Okay, now where did this happen? This is Chinese. It means the first mystery of the Holy Rosary, the Annunciation. Okay, now where did this happen? Nazareth. Okay, we can say basically the whole Christian activity is to let people know who Jesus Christ is. What is his name? So, for example, we can remember that Jesus asked his disciples, when he was in Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, and he said, who do men say I am? We can remember the story. He was up here, and he was teaching his people, and this is just below Lebanon's up here, and Syria's here, or Jordan's here, and this is the Israel, and all rest of it here. And then we can remember Jesus, for example, he said, what do people say I am? So I'm asking you, every person who comes to this world, he has to make a choice. He hears the name Jesus. He can do two things. He can say, that's a lot of rubbish. Or he can say, okay, this man Jesus said he saves the world. So, or Jesus asked his about, who do they say that I am? And then we know the story. So Peter, the first Pope, he said, you are Christ, the Son of the living God. And then Jesus appointed him the first Pope. So, it's just, and his job, he said, you are Jesus Christ, the Son of God. In other words, you are God. Okay, you recognize me as God, Jesus, you recognize, okay, you can be the Pope. So, he became the leader of the world. If we don't recognize Jesus as God, we are not Christians, as simple as that. Okay, so this happened at Nazareth, okay? There's a Nazareth just next to Galilee, and we're now going to go to Nazareth, okay? Now this is going to Nazareth. When we come to Nazareth, this is the Nazareth. I was in Nazareth some time ago, and there's a kind of hostel called Casimir, and from the window of my bedroom, I took these pictures of Nazareth. It's a fairly nondescript place, you know, it's Nazareth, and as we all know, when Philip told Nathanael, we have found the Messiah, and he comes from Nazareth, Nathanael said, what good can come from Nazareth? In other words, look at it. What's so wonderful about this? Look at it. Look, it's just a few flowers, a beautiful, and that symbolizes us. When they see that guy, Father Griswold, or whatever his name is, Mr. Sim, what good can he? What's so wonderful about him? Look, he's just a normal guy. You see, like this. This is a normal place. Some flowers, buildings, and a little bird there. And what's so wonderful about this? You know, what are you trying to kid me? You know, what's so fun? Okay, now we have there the Philippines. So we start off with that simple. You could say moral story. Each one of us says, who am I? Like Nathanael said to Philip, he said, what good can come out of Nazareth? And that Nazareth is, in other words, what good can come out of Mr. Smith, Mr. Wong, Mao Zedong, or what can they do? They're just the same as me. They get flesh and blood. What's so wonderful about it? Look like me. Look at this fellow, Father. He's sitting here talking about things. What good can I do? I can't. I admit I'm just a human being. Now the secret of the whole, that's why this story is so important, because this flesh and blood, which you can look at me now, I'm an old guy, 82 years old, bleary-eyed, and out of my mouth I'm coming with all this. You say, what good can come out of this Father Alan? What can he do? Okay, I admit I'm just a nobody. Like you and me, we're all nobodies. But when with God, by ourselves, I, Father Alan, can do nothing. In a few years, you come to Taiwan, you say, where is Father Alan? He's in a grave there, some old bones. He's finished. So I'm finished. I'm nearly finished. And now I have trouble getting up in the morning. I'm nearly finished. But the thing is, if I believe the story that God became man, I become a Superman. So you are looking at me. I am a Superman. I am a Superman. Well, and you can become a Superman if you believe in Jesus. You sting the story. How to become a Superman is to say this, think about it. The first mystery of the Holy Rosary, it tells us that God became man. If you believe that, you become Jesus. You share Jesus' life. You become a Superman. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, now, if you don't believe in Jesus, you are nobody. The only way to become somebody is to believe in Jesus as Superman. That is why, how to become a Superman. So I'm telling you now, how to become a Superman. You're not just a drab nobody, you are a Superman because you know Jesus Christ. Okay, you see, the Philippines, why are the Philippines so important, you know? So this is what happens. You see this picture here. Okay, we see the picture here. The angel Gabriel, so the name Gabriel means God is a warrior, and you have this little girl. She's just a nobody, just Miss somebody, Miss Lucy, Miss Mary or something. Next door, nobody. Mary is nobody. We're not worshipping. Some people hear Mary. Oh, the Catholics worship Mary. They're not worshipping Mary, but they say she became a superwoman, and like me. Why? Because she was the first person to believe in Jesus. And she became, the whole world knows she's the queen of heaven and earth. And when we say that Mary is the queen of earth, she was just like me. She had a nose, a prettier nose, and eyes, hands, much more attractive. But she was a human being, but she became a God, shared God's life. She became a superwoman. And if you believe in Jesus Christ, go to the Catholic Church, ask to be baptized, go to Mass every day, you become a Superman. What's the alternative? Dirty old bones in a tomb. There's two choices. You become a superwoman with Jesus, or you die and become nothing in a tomb. It seems to me that you better take the choice. Maybe it's a gamble, but I'm just telling you, if you don't do that, you'll be old bones, stinking bones in a thing. If you don't believe in Jesus, you cannot rise with Jesus. You will rot in your grave, like me. So that is Philippines. Okay, now we have here... this is the Philippines. Because if you go to this Nazareth, there's a church here. You see the Slovak. There's a church there, and all the countries of the world, because everywhere in the world there are Catholics. Everywhere in the world there are people who believe in Jesus, and everywhere in the world who have a statue of Our Lady. And this is not superstition, but we just get that straight. Some people say, "Oh, the Catholics worship Our Lady. She appears in Lucia, and I don't want to become a Catholic because they worship idols." They do not worship, the Catholics do not worship idols. They show a great deal of respect to the mother of Jesus. But Mary is not a god or a goddess. She's like you and she's like me. She has flesh, but God gave her particular gifts. For example, her rot. When I die, this will rot. If you come and see me in 3 years' time, you will see worms all over me, eating me up. Because I'm a sinful guy, so I will rot in my grave. But I will rise with Jesus. My soul will rise with Jesus. So Our Lady, she had this gift. Because Our Lady was sinless, she was immaculately conceived, the Immaculate Conception. She was immaculate. In other words, she was sinless from the moment of her birth. She became the mother of the Jesus. So we see here, look, Virgo Dolorosa, the Sorrowful Virgin, the patron saint of Slovakia Republic. We all know Slovakia is a pretty religious place. They have their problems, but anyway, we see here, look, okay, now, you see, Virgo Maria, this is Slovakia, and this is, most of them are Catholics there. They won't let the Muslims in. That's their problem. But anyway, the Sorrowful Virgin, the patron saint of Slovakia, help us, succurre nobis, help us. Okay, and so we can see here the Our Lady. Okay, so girls and boys, if you have a problem, go to Mary. Look, you see, Jesus died. Mary will say to Jesus, "Jesus, that old guy there is in trouble." Jesus says, okay, if you want me to help him, I help him. So it's a good idea to make a friend of Our Lady. But she's not God, she's our mother. All right, we'll stop here for a few minutes and then carry on. Have a good time.